Hello, we are on solo session number 2 for this before the stream. Yippee!
Hooray.
Hooray! With Oswald. So, wood shenanigans? Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's Oswald.
It's Oswald. But just a brief recap for those of you who missed last session, and it's going to be very, very brief because there will be a proper recap during that session, during the next full session, rather. Uh, the party was making their way to Chichidel and ended up coming across a funky little town that wasn't exactly all correct. Encountered Judas there, who made a proposition to essentially be like, "Hey, imprison my boyfriend. It's fine." So y'all went and did that, and everything ended up totally normal and fine. And there is not a imprisoned war god who is threatening to go after every single person that you guys love and care about out of being just sheer pettiness.
No, not at all.
No, not at all. And there definitely wasn't a staring contest turned into almost duo murder. That didn't happen either.
No.
No.
It didn't. It didn't.
It didn't, exactly. It happened in almost god murder. But, we'll touch on that later. But, yes, we are going to get started with the solo session. We'll start with Oswald. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, let's just say Oswald, he went to sleep last time.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He got some sleep.
He did.
Let's just say sleep was not his friend.
As it usually tends to not be.
Yeah, let's just say he might have had some nightmares. He might have had some visions of the new metal Chiron that now exists.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help, compounding against the fact of the multiple different versions of that Chiron that he saw in different universes or from other things earlier on. But yeah, he is going to awaken in a not so good state.
Valid. So yeah, you wake up in a not so good state, as you said. Hermes is still next to you, and he seems to still be awake, as he's just kind of like, "Whoa, you okay?"
No, not really.
Mm.
Wish I didn't have to see that again.
Oh?
It's just there's. Did I ever tell you about the visions I had of, well, Chiron in other realities, timelines?
You've mentioned them, yeah.
Well, let's just say now that I've seen a version of him in this timeline, let's just say my dreams were about that.
That's fair.
It's not fun.
I can't imagine it would be.
Wishing it wouldn't have happened in this timeline, but there really wasn't anything I could have done.
That's fair, but I guess one thing to point out is, at the very least this way, he doesn't have, complete power over, reality itself. It's small victories, I suppose.
It is a small victory. It is true. That is true. It's just things still don't add up.
Yeah, tends to be how it is with gods.
It's not that. It's just where I don't know how to explain it. It's just I know that we've been dealing with time rifts, and that's one thing. But I'm worried that there might be more things happening with the rifts that we're not aware of.
Well, you're probably right about that. After all, Chiron doesn't have control over time. That's Aroa. So.
But we don't know what he's been doing with Aroa the past month.
No.
Even longer than that.
We haven't known what he's been doing with Aroa for the past year-ish, quite frankly.
And that Raylan is with them, well, not anymore, but who knows that.
Yeah. It's, to put it bluntly, shit's messy.
Yeah. I'm to blame for that. Partially.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Partially, a little bit. But, most of this I would honestly blame on, at the very least, like, half of the gods.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, that, none of you guys should have been put in this position in the first place.
Yes, that is true. Honestly, at this point, I just want it to be over.
And it will be, hopefully. At the very least for you guys. I personally don't feel right about sending you guys off doing all of this anymore. You guys have done enough. And I know I sent you and everyone else out kind of in a fit of my own anger, but you guys have done more than enough. Help getting Chiron to where he is now is it changes a lot. We can actually catch him now. We can actually hold him responsible now and start to fix things. So, our plan is to take you guys back to the camp. You guys can just chill there until everything's fixed. I'm not going to ask you guys to go out and do anything else.
And I am thankful for that, of course, but I take it that when you put us back, your objective along with the others is to find Roa. Well, you know, but at least find.
I'll put it this way. With Chiron imprisoned, there is quite literally nothing that could be keeping Aroa trapped. If he's not showing up, he's choosing not to. Trying to find Aroa would be, quite frankly, a waste. If he doesn't want to be found, he won't be found. That's what I have heard from several gods. Our priority is going to be going to capturing Chiron.
Well, I just hope if he's not wanting to be found, he's at least taking this time to heal from whatever happened.
I'm hoping so too, given what you told me, what you saw. But in a shitty little pun, only time will tell.
Yep, only time will tell. And honestly, if something does happen, I'd probably be able to sense it.
Probably. At the very least, you wouldn't be a vessel.
Then it begs the question of what's going on with Raylan, but that's another
honestly, it wouldn't shock me if Raylan is with Aroa right now. Raylan was a vessel of his for apparently quite a while, according to Cebu.
Long enough that he was a part of the 100-Year War.
Mm-hmm. Longer than that, apparently. I don't know. Raylan's Raylan. I've kind of given up trying to understand what he is. Like, they've explained it to me, but I don't really grasp it.
I don't blame you. This is a lot for all of us to understand.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
But on the bright side, it's hopefully almost over.
I hope so. I'm getting kind of tired of actually being responsible. I'd like to go back to, not doing that.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Hmm?
What?
I'm just saying it would be nice for all of us to be able to go back to how everything was before. Of course, not the same, but at least close to what it was.
Yeah. No, more than fair. I mean, if I can help it, hopefully, I'm hoping Eberron is not too fucked up. You know?
I would like that myself, considering that's my home.
Yeah. I'll just drop you, one of these days I'll just drop you off at your little pharmacy. You can just get right back on track there.
Yeah, just right on track.
Well, not without probably at least a good few years of therapy, not gonna lie.
I don't think any amount of therapy can help.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially since no mere mortal is supposed to go through what we've gone through.
This is also true. As one of many mortals who has been put up to godly trials, yeah, you guys should not have been put through this. With any luck, it's almost over.
I hope. I really do.
Like I said, once you get back to camp, you don't owe us anything, okay? You can just sit there while we get everything fixed up, and once it's safe to do so, you just go back to doing what you do, okay?
Yes. How is Solar doing?
She's actually doing surprisingly well since she hung back. She helped organize a lot of attacks against some of the weird little groupies that were kind of following Chiron around for the last year. Yeah, that was a thing. But she helped organize a lot of attacks against them and stuff. She's doing well in her vessel training. Lita's been teaching her a lot, and it is terrifying. But, yep, she's doing alright.
That's good. I'm very glad to hear that.
You realize she doesn't hate you, right?
Like to think that.
That's good. Because respectfully, you overthink more than I thought completely possible by anyone.
Again, I know I'm still responsible for everything, but again, I don't. If anyone was in my shoes or anyone else is in this group, I'm sure they'd realize that dealing with gods and having to play this is like a giant game of chess in a sense. It's not easy.
No, it's not. But, regardless if you play around with gods or not, mistakes happen, sometimes you're gonna fuck up, and sometimes those fuck ups are gonna result in the deaths of, a shit ton of people. I've been there. But just don't let that haunt you entirely. Like, don't remember it, but don't let it control you.
Try my best.
You better. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to drag you. I don't even know where. I don't know. I'll just drag you somewhere.
Honestly, if I do that, you're probably gonna be the first one to beat my ass.
True. Very true.
God. Oh, it feels like time is actually catching up to me. Like, killing me.
Well, I would say get some more sleep, but knowing you, I feel like that's not gonna happen.
No, because I feel like I'm still gonna have those visions tonight, at the very least, so I don't think rest is gonna do me good. I don't even know what time it is anyways.
Well, the sky's kinda... Herbie's gonna look up, and the sky is, back to its usual its usual color. It is no longer red eclipse permasky. It is nice and starry out, actually. Somewhere around middle of the night.
The sky's actually back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I have honestly been staring at the sky for like the past 2 hours.
Honestly, I don't blame you. Considering that for the past year it's been that blood red.
Yeah. Yeah, it has. I started to think I was gonna like end up with sensory deprivation from like just seeing so much red all the time.
Well, now you don't have to worry about that.
Yay, my eyes, they're spared.
Be thankful it wasn't a pure neon red.
Oh god. I think I would have let Chiron kill me. That sounds like a headache.
Yeah, it would have been.
Eh. Well. Ugh. I, for one, am ready for all of this to be over.
Yep, you and me both.
Yeah. I don't think I can lose any more fingers. At some point, I'm gonna have to get a prosthetic hand.
I'm hoping that isn't the case, Hermes.
I mean, I'm missing 2.
2? I thought you were missing 1.
He's gonna hold up his right hand. He's missing his right index and his right ring finger.
When did you lose 2, Hermes?
When Chiron hit me last night.
Oh.
It's...
Why didn't you tell me? I could have done something.
Oswald, you can spare people from death. You can't reattach a godly body part. Respectfully.
Well, I can at least heal it like I did with your disappearing form.
It's healed, kinda. And it's a bit different than the disappearing form thing, because that was a strike from a godly weapon. I have survived 3 strikes from a godly weapon. Is that a record? I hope that's a record. I hope I hold a record for that.
And most of those are because of me.
Don't you take credit. One of the times you weren't even there. You were in your little bubble.
Oh, yes, that's right. I say when... Oh, God, this... I wish you didn't have to die. Oh, I don't...
Relax. It's like, I'm doing fine.
I hope that you don't have to take another blow for any of us.
But I will if I have to.
I know. I'm gonna hate you, but...
Yeah, well, at least you'll be hating me from here and not from the astral plane. So.
Yes, yes. I don't know. I think I need to...
You cut out, Fred. What was that?
I think I need to take a walk.
Alright. Need time alone?
Yeah, but of course keep an eye on me, because who knows if I'll be a flight risk.
Go take your walk. Go yearn for the woods.
I will. Yearn for the woods.
And he yearns for the woods indeed. What you go into the woods, what you doing?
If I could type my notes properly.
He's gotta type. He's gotta go.
So as yeah, he's just gonna be walking, taking some time to, again, decompress, register everything that has happened
in the past, I guess, several weeks at this point, since he really hasn't had time to think about that. And then, I'm gonna do it.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna attempt to use funny legend lore.
Okay.
I'm gonna attempt to use it. So I need to explain my thought process.
Gotcha.
So as he is thinking, he's going to be thinking back on the past day's events about everything, the ship, Chiron, Metal Chiron, the events, and everything that has happened. Where's the note? He is going to use it. Do I need to send you what Legend Lore does? I need to send you it.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Because if I say this, copy, paste. There's that.
Gotcha. Let me take a look-see.
So, oh god, how am I going to explain this? He's
okay.
Correct word would be nice if I could say it. He's going to think back specifically to. I'm going to explain this. You take from it what you will. He's going to think back to the ship and the events, because to him, things don't add up. Why would, if Chiron did remember stuff, other thing, why would he send it to the ship? Why would he give it to Asher? Why would he send Raylan to give the watch to Asher of all people, knowing very well that he knew that the skeleton was there, and he was aware that skeleton, at least to Oswald's mind, knew that skeleton was there. It doesn't make sense why, of all places, he sent it there, because it feels like then people would try to figure out how to ensnare him, and he'd be doing his own undoing.
Gotcha. So he's trying to figure out the lore, tied to that.
Yes.
Why the watch ended up where it did.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, you cast that. You cast Legend Lore. You recall that, those series of events. And you do get a brief bit of a vision. Another watch. Looks older, more worn. It has what looks like initials possibly carved on the back, but it's a little hard to tell. But around it you see a hand, a chalk white hand. Close around it, and it turns the dial back. And you actually hear a voice very, very briefly in your head that you do recognize as Aroa's. It just speaks up and is like, "Remember our agreement." And that's it.
He's gonna shake his head and blink, what? Only, and he's gonna dig through his bag, and he's gonna pull out the contract.
Gotcha.
And he's gonna just briefly scan through that.
Okay. We're talking the new contract or the old one?
New contract.
Gotcha.
Would I need to roll anything to see if anything stands out?
I would say, I mean, you've read this contract several times at this point. And it's the same contract you've read over and over again. The rewritten one, the one that states an agreement to work in, cahoots with Aroa to help bring the shards of Bestoa to Aroa, all that. But aside from that, nothing really stands out.
Was that to me or was that to someone else? She is... Contemplation. Insert contemplation here.
Insert contemplation. Well, during these contemplative moments, you do hear a voice speak up behind you, just... That is quite a puzzling situation.
He's gonna turn around.
Yes, that snake bitch, TM.
Can I help you?
No, but I might be able to help you. After all, you do seem to have quite the dilemma up there.
What goes on in my head is for me alone.
Is it? Because it was quite easy to see it from where I was.
What do you mean?
A pocket watch held in the hand of someone unfamiliar or possibly familiar. Who knows?
How did you see that?
Devils come with an array of different talents, dear. I don't really necessarily want anything right now, given you handed the book over to a literal god who happens to be, buddy-buddy with the person who imprisoned me. Kind of putting a little bit of a loop in my deal with Nephthys. Now, I'm gonna keep this real simple. The deal with Nephthys, if it doesn't go through, if I end up back in Lita's little clutches, well, nothing good will happen to Nephthys, and it's nothing that no god could even save him from. To put it simply, he'd belong to me. Indefinitely. Now, I just figured it was fair, since you're the one who carries the book, to approach you about this little topic.
Let's see.
So, here's my deal. I'll keep it simple. You wish to find out the full story behind what you just saw, correct?
That would be nice, yes.
I'll give you that if you destroy the book.
Destroy the book.
Yes. You destroy that book, Nephthys will be spared from my shit, and you get the information that you're looking for. You'll get, well, the full picture. After all, clearly, Aroa didn't want you seeing the full thing.
But they at least gave me enough information to know that there's something I must be focusing on.
Oh, you thought that message was for you. If I recall correctly, your hands are quite, feathery. Doesn't exactly match what you saw, does it?
I'm aware.
If you want my opinion, I think Aroa only caught on to what you were trying to do last minute and kicked you out before you saw too much. But again, that's just my opinion. After all, what would I know? Wasn't like I knew that you all were going to be perfectly safe within the ship and that Judas wasn't going to try anything.
Do I have until we return to the bubble to destroy the book?
You have even less time than that. Lita's already on their way, and as much credit as I'd like to give you, I don't think you would be able to pry that book out of their hands if you wanted to. They'd be more likely to kill you before you'd even get close.
How long until they're here?
You have until the end of the night. I'll tell you this. They hold out the book.
How did you get that?
I've been around for quite some time. You learn a few tricks and things here and there to get around God's pesky little eyes. As of right now, he thinks you're just meditating. So make your decision quickly before he sees you talking to me. I don't think that would paint a very good picture, now would it?
No, it wouldn't. I don't think it would end well for the both of us.
It would end far worse for you than it would for me. You have those fancy little glyphs.
I do, yeah.
If you wish to make the deal, cast one on this.
You do realize that I get to control when it goes off, though.
Exactly. The deal will be made on your terms. And I'll tell you this, I never break a deal.
Fine. It's on my terms, though. And Oswald will cast a glyph on the book.
Alright, what is the purpose of the glyph, may I ask? I can hear the gears turning, I can hear them.
Let's just say this is gonna be I know I'm gonna have to roll for this. He's gonna cast a blank rune on the tome.
Okay. You're gonna cast a blank rune. I realized it was not unmuted. Okay, you're casting a blank rune?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's trying to use deception.
Yeah, go ahead and roll, yeah, deception. Roll deception.
Oh gosh. That's a 22.
Okay. So yeah, you cast the glyph on the book. Remember, you have until until the end of the night.
I understand.
I'll go give this back to Hermes now. That way he doesn't even know it was you. He'll probably just blame himself. That is, if you change your mind on your decision.
Get out of here.
I think you have some explaining to do in a few minutes.
We'll see now, won't we?
We will. And they're gonna disappear. Nothing bad ever happens when you yearn in the woods.
Nothing ever happens when you yearn for the woods.
Anything else
He's gonna
you would
shake
like
his...
to
Yeah.
do?
He's gonna go back to Hermes.
Yeah, you get back to Hermes. Don't.
What? Hermes.
Yes. Do you have something you want to tell me?
Do you have the book?
It's like, yeah, I do.
Thank God.
With your rune on it.
A blank rune.
Yeah. Doesn't negate what I saw in the woods, though, does it?
I wasn't going to work with them, Hermes. Why? I said that once I gave you the book for a reason, so I wouldn't do anything for it. Wasn't gonna give that devil any justification getting anything out of me. Honestly, I shouldn't have even played a game with the devil. I should have learned from last time.
Well, since you're coming clean about it, at least, and not trying to hide, I'm inclined to believe you.
Hiding has nothing to happen, and if you want me to prove it, I can show you that the rune is blank.
I can tell it's blank.
And with that, he's gonna dispel it.
Yep. What were you even looking for?
Honestly, I was just trying to clear my head. Then I got a vision.
What'd you see?
It was... Insert exposition here.
It's an exposition here. It's like, interesting.
So... Whether that's for me or for someone else, I don't know, but since I saw it, I assume it at least involves me in some way, shape, or form.
Maybe.
I know it doesn't deal with the contract. That's pretty much done.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, Oswald, it sounds like you're accidentally casting legend lore.
Huh?
It's a spell. One that allows you to look into the history of things. What were you thinking about when you were looking? Like before
thinking about the ship I saw, the events leading up to it, why the pocket watch ended up where it was, why Chiron would put it there.
I don't know if Chiron even put it there. None of us do, quite frankly.
Well, I know that Raylan was the one that delivered it, but
So you think Raylan was working with Chiron?
Well, Chiron's the one that captured Raylan, so I don't think Raylan would have been able to escape.
Fair. Just raises more questions.
No, please don't tell me that's Raylan from a different timeline.
From what I understand, Raylan kinda is just one person across multiple timelines.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a thing. There's some people that do that. Apparently there's another one, but he's doesn't have access to pocket watch or anything like that, so that should be fine.
Oh, great. So apparently this Raylan might have killed my mother in multiple times.
There's only... No, Oswald, there's one Raylan. Total.
Wait, so you're saying that he only exists in this timeline?
That's apparently the case. Sabu has no other recollections of any other versions of him. That's why they were hunting him down.
I'm having more and more mixed feelings about Raylan as more time goes on.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know, I see a similarity between you two, but that's just me.
I hate that you're right.
I tend to be.
Yes, as much as I don't wish to admit it.
You will one day.
Yeah. Now I have to worry about what that could mean out of all of things.
Well, I mean, you told me what you saw. And, like I said, you don't have to do anything at this point.
I know, but as I am vessel of Roa, I won't go headfirst into it like I've done in the past, but it doesn't mean that I won't keep this on my radar.
Fair enough. I really think you should get some sleep.
I'm sorry.
For what?
Well, for even attempting to try to play a game with the devil, and for everything past. I know it doesn't mean much at this point, and I never really got to say it.
You know? I think he'd forgive you if he heard that from you.
Who? There's multiple people.
By the way, that voice came from Hermes. Did you notice that the mask on Hermes, the eyes of the mask have turned... They blinked kind of sideways. And are now these kind of yellow sclerid eyes with these white irises kind of looking at you.
Yep. Hermes?
That little piece of information was very helpful. Thank you for that.
Who are you?
Given you were giving me quite the staring contest earlier.
What have you done to Hermes? What have you done to him?
I really think you should get some sleep, Oswald.
No.
Good night.
What have you done to him? No. No.
And that's where we'll end the session for tonight. So I hope for anyone who watched this, I hope you enjoyed. I would say the same for Holiday, but I think he's going to have very strong words. Or an existential crisis. One of the two. But with that, we will be seeing you guys on Saturday. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye!